I gained the weight back. Not all of it, but I definitely put on 35 pounds after losing 130 pounds and getting the gastric sleeve surgery in 2023, and then going under the knife and getting a skin removal surgery for my stomach, getting the snatched itty bitty waist, and gaining weight back. Hi, my name is Christianji. On this page, I talk all things fitness, spirituality, and personal development. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about my relationship with food, my experience as getting the gastric sleeve surgery, getting the skin removal surgery, and the battles and challenges that I'm facing today. So if you're somebody who's interested in the surgery or someone who has gotten the surgery and is trying to maintain it, this video is all about it in detail and all for you. So grab a snack and sit back because I'm about to put you guys through the ride. So starting off with my relationship with food, I've always been codependent on food since I was younger, and I've always had a healthy relationship with working out, so that was never really the issue. But I've always had a relationship of yo-yoing as far as gaining the weight, losing the weight, gaining the weight. And I've tried everything in my books up until 2020, where I reached a whopping 307 pounds. And I've already been interested in the gastric sleeve surgery, and I was already doing my research. I was already going through the testing. At the moment, I was unemployed and I had Medicaid with Health First. And when I went in and did the test, the requirements, also I was pre-diabetic, and there was a history of me trying to lose the weight. The surgery was approved for free. And I just remember the doctors telling me, like, this is something that is scary, but something for you to do, especially because you are pre-diabetic. And at the time, I was like 26 years old. I had no kids, and diabetes ran in my family. So I went and I got the surgery. Now, out of all patients, I would say that I was a very successful because I lost the weight rapidly. As I said, I'm not shy to work out. So as soon as I was healing, 4 weeks in, I was already hitting the gym, already going to the treadmill, of course, with my doctor's approval, and I was shedding the weight rapidly. So much so that in a year, I had sagging itties and a sagging stomach. Now, I didn't get any surgery for my chest, but I did get surgery for my stomach. And again, I had the same insurance. I live in New York City. And at first it was denied. I went to my doctors. I remember it was in the summer. I told them that I had a rash around my belly button and a strong odor. At first, they declined me. They declined it. But my doctor would take pictures of it, and as I said, I was going to the doctors really consistently. I did my surgery in the same hospital, so all of my records were there. And so I did the second time, and I did the second appeal, and I got it approved. Now, what they didn't tell me, especially because my doctor threw in a little bit of lipo, shout out to him, is the aftercare. So the surgery was free. However, I did need to invest in lymphatic massages, and I did need to invest in waist trainers, which I actually still wear as of today. Now, let's talk about how I gained weight. As I mentioned, I do have a relationship with food. I've always been codependent on food. And when I first started losing the weight, my attention stopped going so much towards food and actually towards drinking and going out. Now, they do have a warning when you get the surgery. A lot of people turn into alcohol and actually become alcoholics because the addiction from food gets transferred to alcohol. Now, I did go down a slippery slope. Thank God. I have been sober now for like about a month and a half. And thankfully, it didn't get too serious. But as I started losing the weight and I started feeling good and feeling more confident, I definitely started going out more. Liquor just hit me different because it wouldn't take me much to get me lit. So I started enjoying going out, drinking, having fun. And every time I go to sobriety, my relationship with food then intensifies. So the first year, I think like the first year, the second year to my third year, I would say like for the first 2 years that I lost weight, I was going out, I was enjoying my time out. Then I'm approaching my 30s. So I'm like, hey, like it's time for me to get serious and really look at my relationship with alcohol and realize like it's just not it for me, and realize like I have to save money, and there's a lot of goals that I want to accomplish that me going out and drinking is not helping. So now with me scaling back on the alcohol and scaling back on going out, I the relationship with food started to intensify. And it was always there. I always have like a thing right before bed that I like to grab food for comfort, and just things at night, like when the world is busy during the day that you don't get to think about. A lot of like truths started happening like at nighttime. And being that I do struggle with, I am diagnosed as bipolar. Keep in mind that I do take medications. So it's just also a history of my medication having a side effect of hunger. And I always kept these medications even as I was losing the weight. However, it did started to intensify as I started getting sober and started focusing less on going out and drinking. The relationship with food, it's like a friend that you know it's bad for you, or like a boyfriend or girlfriend that you know it's bad for you, but it's always there. It's always there when to reach for comfort. And honestly, I go through binging episodes, and I could go the entire day going well, doing well, tracking calories, getting my steps in, going to the gym, doing everything that I need to do. But when that time of night hits where my emotions are intense, it's really, really, really hard to fight those binging urges. And if you struggle with binge eating disorders, then you know that it's a big deal. It's pretty serious. It's pretty annoying to get through. And at this stage of my life, I've been with the same therapist, the same therapy office, the same psychiatrist for 2 to 3 years. And so at this moment, I'm looking to change therapy offices because I feel like, hey, like if I'm still dealing with manic episodes or like these extreme intense emotions with throughout everything that I'm doing, mind you, like I am working out, I do meditate, I do journal. I think that I need to switch therapy office and really like start addressing the problem, as well as being honest with myself and realizing, well, now that I'm not drinking and going out as much, the old habit of me binge eating is back. I don't regret doing the surgery. If I could go back, I would do it all over again, because the surgery has transformed and catapulted my life into a whole new dimension. And I think that if I didn't get the surgery, I would have still struggled and probably wouldn't have lost 130 pounds. Not saying that you can't do it naturally, but I'm also addressing the fact that this was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. However, I do want to be transparent and say, when they say that these surgeries are just a tool, they are not playing. This is not a fix-all, be-all kind of solution. This is not a magic wand. In the first year, yes, it feels like a magic wand. You're losing the weight rapidly. You could still be eating junk food. However, since your body is only able to sustain so little portions, then yes, it feels like a magic wand. But at the end of the day, if you don't fix your mentality, if you don't fix your relationship with food, these bad habits will always creep up back into you. And even though I don't consider myself to be morbidly obese, or I'm not 300 pounds as I was before, I would definitely say that I am disappointed and I am sad in myself. And I know that I'm able to lose the weight back. That's not an issue. I just want to be transparent and let people know that you can lose all the weight and you can get into your dream body and you can still feel insecure. You can still feel lonely. You can still feel extremely empty. And surgery will never fix that. I think that surgery is an amazing tool and I'm a huge advocate for it. But I also created this video to let people know, especially women who have not done this surgery and who are looking to get into the surgery, looking to do the surgery, is please make sure that you invest in your mental health just as much as you invest into your physical health. And also make sure that you build healthy habits while you lose the weight. Now, I meal prep, I go to the gym, I have a very consistent schedule with the gym. I think now, especially as I battle sobriety, I just need to find solutions aside from binge eating and going back to who I was before I do go back to 300 pounds. And I'm going to be taking you guys along with the journey with me. I'm not someone who's perfect, but I've been around the block and I know what it's like to struggle with insecurity, with binge eating, and with those old habits. This season of my life is so raw because I'm now taking away things that has helped me survive up until this point. But I realized that what helped me when I was 16 years old is not serving me now as I'm 30 years old. When I take away the alcohol, the partying, being in relationships, the food, it kind of just forces you to face yourself. And I'm in that process right now. I wish I had a success story. I mean, I still do consider myself a success, but I am going through this journey still. Like 3 years later, I'm still going through this journey. I'm still struggling with my weight. And I'm going to be documenting my journey and sharing you guys the tips and the tools that I'm going to use to end my relationship with binge eating, because I really do think that it's possible. And I still participate in a healthy lifestyle. It's just a few habits that you need to tweak. If you did live in the New York City area and you want to know more information on how you can be approved for this surgery for free or low, you can definitely leave me a message and I'd love to further assist you in any way I can. If you guys have any questions or anything else that you guys would like for me to cover, definitely leave a comment below. And if you like this kind of content, definitely do leave a comment below and let me know. Like I said, with this channel, I'm going to be talking all things taboo that a lot of people go through on a daily basis but are too afraid to speak of. And I want to be that person. And this is not the end of the journey, but just the beginning. So again, if you like this kind of content, subscribe, like, share below with a friend, and I will keep you guys updated with more updates soon. Love ya. Bye.